Okay, so as you can see, I have a whole new setup if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, I am sitting on my bed. I was like, let me try like a more comfortable setup to do my podcast. So yeah, but hi besties, this is You Against You podcast, and I am your host, Deja Nicole. And as you know, we are in season 2, which is all about healing girl era, or just healing era. Now, in today's episode, I will talk about the different stages of your healing journey, because we as human beings, we go through this healing journey more than once and we never realize, and we also never realize the different stages that we are going through while we're healing. So yeah, but before I get into today's episode, go follow the podcast Instagram, which is You Against You Pod by Deja. So yeah, again, that is You Against You by Deja, and you can also follow the host, which is me. My Instagram is Deja, DAJAH_Nicole, NICOLE_ So if you want to be besties and just, you know what things I have coming up, you should go follow my personal IG. And if you want to know some things that are coming up for the podcast, or just want some motivational type cute little posts or quotes, go follow the podcast Instagram. Also, we do have a TikTok for the podcast, which is the same as the Instagram. Again, that is You Against You Pod by Deja. So all of those links will be in the show notes down below, so y'all should go most definitely like go check that out. Now, we're going to talk about the different stages in your healing journey. I got my phone here. I have all my notes on what I'm going to talk about in this episode. Now, before I get into this episode, I'm going to put like a little like warning and disclaimer out there. If you're going through depression, because I will be talking about depression in this episode and how that is actually a part and a stage of your healing journey, and you're going through severe depression, please seek help. If you don't like talking to a friend, or you don't like talking to a family member, go seek help and find a therapist, so they can help you figure out why you're feeling that way. So yeah, mental health is so important, and I feel that us as a generation, especially Gen Z, we don't really like talking to other people about our mental health, because our parents didn't have someone to speak to about their mental health, so we just basically just push it aside and we do horrible things to ourselves. So that is just a disclaimer about this episode, but let's just get onto this episode. I'm going to try to explain everything more in depth, and of course you will know all these phases. This list, the key points I will be talking about, will be in the show notes. So yeah, but one more thing before I get into this episode. Also, go add yourself to the Geneva group chat. I will soon start talking. I do actually text in there now, because we have like 7 to 8 members. So if you want to add yourself, go add yourself. That link will also be in the show notes as well. But let's just get into this episode. I had to redo this episode because I did not like how it sounded. So I was like, let's do this. And also, an apology ahead. Just a head apology. Sorry if you can hear my computer in the background. If you know, like, MacBooks be having the fans, so that's what you hear. And also, sorry if I be like coughing multiple times. My asthma is bothering me because the weather is changing here in Tennessee. Tennessee weather is so bipolar. But let's just get into the the episode, I was gonna say show, but you know, let's get into the episode of You Against You podcast. And this again is episode 7, which is the different phases in your healing journey. Now, what are the different phases in your healing journey, and how many are there? So there are 5 phases, 5 stages. You can say phases, you can say stages, doesn't really matter, they mean like the same thing, but there's 5 phases in the healing journey. So remember, 5. So they are in denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. Bargaining might give you like a question mark on like, what do you mean? How is that a stage in the healing process within myself? Well, I'm gonna explain that more. But yes, again, those are denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. Now, let's go into the first stage of your healing journey, which is denial. Now, when we think of the word denial, I feel like me, even though I said we, but we probably will think the same thing. But when I think of the word denial, I think of, well, this is not gonna happen. No, why did it happen? It shouldn't happen. Like, you always tell yourself the opposite of what it is. Now, we're going to refuse to accept it. That's why I said like the opposite of what it is. And that is the first stage. So let's just say, for an example, you had a big argument with your partner. And I'm going to use like partners or friends in this example of this whole episode of each stage, so everyone can try to relate to it. So you and your partner, no matter who you date or did date it, and y'all have a big argument, right? And your partner was like, you know what, I can't do this anymore, you're too toxic for me, we're done. You are going through a whole breakup stage, right? Exactly right. Now, it's about 3 to 4 weeks into this whole breakup stage, which you are entering your healing girl era. And you asked yourself, am I really like this, or he's just saying this? No, he was like this. And you're trying to put all of the reason why y'all broke up on him, but you can't really see who you really are as a person. Now, you're going to this denial phase of, it's not my fault, it's his fault. I can't really take the fault of this. He wants to leave me, fine, he can leave me. So that's why I say, like, you are really, like, you're not taking the fault, you're putting all the fault on him. So that right there is like the denial stage. Now, this can take a while before you enter this next stage of healing. And the reason why that the denial stage, and all these stages, now that I think about it, that I'm going to talk about it, each stage is going to take some time before you get into the next stage. But for some people, because they can't take the fault, they cannot accept that it happened and that they went through this whole breakup or went through the whole relationship with the person, they are trying to put all the blame on that other person, and they can't put the blame on themselves as well. Because you have to think about it, in a relationship, it's 2 people. One person can make it toxic, but you can also make it toxic, and that's how it's not working, because both of y'all are toxic. I was in a relationship which was bad idea to keep going back with him. Now I'm not. I'm in a relationship. Let's put that there. I am in a relationship. I'm in a healthy relationship. I love him so much, and I'm going to like talk about my whole relationship in another episode on is it okay to enter a relationship in your healing girl era? Which it is, just putting out there, but that would be like in a whole nother episode. But I am in a relationship which is completely healthy, and I'm so happy. I never felt this way. But back to the point, it takes two people to make a relationship work, or to not make a relationship work. Two people, not one, two people. But a lot of people blame their ex-partner on why it didn't work, and to be honest, I was like that. And I was in a toxic relationship with my ex-boyfriend, and I went back on and off with him. So we took a break and all of that, took a break, this and that, until I was like done with him, to the point like I need to be happy. I need to be with a man who makes me happy. And like I said, I have a man who makes me happy. Now, I thought it was only him that was making the relationship toxic, but I would say I never realized that it was also my fault that I was in this toxic relationship. And it made me realize after leaving him for good that yes, I was toxic in the relationship as well, because I showed my true colors to this person. Yes, he brought it out, but I could have used self-control and control myself and control my anger and control how I felt, but I didn't. We cussed each other out, all of this and that. He would call me out my name. It was a lot. Like, it was very, very toxic. Now, also with my first ex, he would call me toxic, and I would say like how I was toxic, like, and he would tell me, and I was like, okay, I can see that, but you was also toxic as well. It took him time to realize that he was also the toxic one in the relationship. So it does take two people to make a relationship work, and it takes two people to make that relationship toxic and not work. So when you are leaving a toxic relationship, you're going to go on this healing era, this healing journey, and you are going to hit that denial phase that is first, and you're going to blame your ex first on why it was toxic. But in reality, it was also your fault that the relationship was toxic, but you won't realize that until like 3 months or 6 months after you left your toxic ex. Yes, there are toxic men out there and toxic women out there because of trauma that they have been through in life, but they can also trigger your toxic side out of you, and you just need to know how to control it, or you just have to know that you're not good with that person and you treated them like shit because they was toxic. So remember that if you're in a toxic relationship, please don't just blame your ex for making the relationship toxic. Blame yourself as well, because you will at the end of the denial stage. Now, the second stage is anger. Now, there are like 2 types of anger, which is silent anger and physical anger. Now, silent anger is you're mad at someone, you're giving them the silent treatment, and you don't care how that person feels. Every time you see that person, you roll your eyes. They're talking to you, you pretend that they're not there, and every time someone mentions their name around you, you get pissed off and you just leave, or you become silent, you become mute, and people will be like, oh shit, we shouldn't have mentioned that name around her. Now, physical anger is when you're being physical. You put your hands on someone, you throw something at someone. Now, let me tell you this. Physical anger can get you in trouble. Silent anger is good, but it's not that good. Now, one more, even though I said there's 2 types and I just remember there's 3, there are verbally anger. Now that's when you tell on how you feel. You tell the person how you feel. You might cuss them out and you might say, I'm fucking mad at you because of A, B, and C, E, F, and G. I know I missed like a couple of alphabets, but you are telling the person on how mad that you are towards them. Now, which one do I prefer? I prefer both silent anger and verbally anger. Now, the reason why I prefer those 2 than physical, because like I said, you can get in trouble with the law being physical. Yes, sometimes being silent and you're angry, it is bad because you're not really showing your emotions. You're not showing out your anger towards that person so they know. But it's like a starting point of, I'm angry at you. And then if you go to the verbally side of anger, I just said it twice. Why? I don't know. But if you go on the verbally side of anger, you are letting that person know. Now, sometimes you gotta throw something at someone. Sometimes you gotta put your hands on someone. If you really think about putting your hands on someone because you're mad, please go to like those destructive rooms where you can destroy things, or go to like a place where you can throw axe at a target. I feel like those 2 are more close to physical anger, even though like you're not like putting your hands on someone, but it's like close to that, and you are letting all your anger out. Now, you should never ever in your life keep your anger inside, because soon you're going to hate yourself, and soon you're not going to take care of yourself because you have all that anger inside of you. Now, that is bad. You can probably leave it in for a couple of days, but don't have it like let in for the rest of your life. Now, me, I don't talk to my sperm donor. I don't like calling him my biological father. It's just because I don't see him as that, because I'm mad at him. I have this anger. The way on how I release my anger towards him is crying it out sometimes, telling people why I don't talk to him, and just sometimes talking to myself in my mind on why I don't talk to him. And that is okay. That is me releasing my anger than just keeping it in. Sometimes I have a sheet of paper and just tear it up, because I feel like tearing up paper is just it's very therapeutic for me. But you don't want to hold that anger. We are humans and we will always feel some type of anger towards someone. And I'm gonna say this, you're going to go through the healing phases multiple times in your life. So this can be every day, this can be every month, every year, every hour, every minute, and every second. And the reason why I say that is because it's going to restart. So you could probably like been done healing over someone, so like a ex-friend, and then boom, you found out your partner was cheating on you. Now you're going back into this healing phase. And it is okay to go through it, because each phases through everyone that you have cut out your life, who have did you wrong, is going to be different from the other person who have done you wrong. So you're going to go through these phases multiple times. Now, another way and why anger is on this list and why it's the second stage, because soon we will start feeling anger towards ourselves. We will hate ourselves. We will say, why I had so and so in my life. I did A, I did B, I did C, I did E towards them. Why? why did D did this to me and I was so nice, you know? And you're going to feel anger towards yourself. You're going to be mad at yourself. You're going to feel so much hatred towards yourself because the person that you cut out your life, and you're going through this healing journey, you're going through this second phase, you're in this second phase, which is anger, and you'll be like, why? You're going to start throwing stuff at the wall. You're going to cry yourself to sleep because you're mad at yourself. But do not have this anger towards yourself last long. And the reason why I say don't let it last long, because you're not going to you're not going to take care of your mental health, you're not going to take care of your physical health, your oral health, everything in your body is going to decline because you're not focusing on you. You're focusing on why so and so did A, B, C, D, F, G towards you. So you have to not put yourself in a hard situation because what they did to you. And soon after you go through this anger phase and you're done being angry at yourself, soon start doing some self-care. Okay? Okay, now let's get into the third stage, which is bargaining. Now, this is a questionable stage. So when I was doing research on what are the 5 stages, or what are the stages of healing, how many stages are there, and I saw bargaining, I was like, how though? How? Now that I think about it, we're gonna go back into the relationship topic that I was talking about, like in the beginning of the episode. So if your ex cheated on you, right, they're going through this phase too, and they stalk your Instagram, stalk your Facebook, stalk all your social media, and they see that you are doing good and well for yourself, and they'd be like, well, she might give me a second chance, so I'm going to hit her up and be the man she wants me to be. Now, I actually had an ex told me that he wished that he was the man that I want a man to be towards me, you know, very caring and stuff, and now I have that in a guy. But he's like, I'm like so mad at myself that I wish I was the man that I can be towards you. But this ex would try his best to get back with his partner. He's going to make a deal with her, be like, okay, if you let me back in your life, I will be the best boyfriend you ever had. I will buy you gifts. I will take you on trips. I will do this. I would say this. I will do anything for you. Just please, baby girl, just please bring me back in your life. Like, you know, they would do that type of stuff. No, please don't. Just say no. If a guy ever does that, say no and block him, because, you know, there are people who will find a way towards you, and even if you block them, they will find a way. But just say no. Now let's put it on you. What if you and an old friend of yours had a fallout? Y'all stopped talking because she blamed you for something. I'm so glad I actually did not ask an old friend to be back in my life, because they was like so trifling, and they would talk about me in front of me, but like that's not the point of this episode. But yeah, they was trifling. It was very trifling, like very trifling. But like I was saying, so like if you had a friend and you and this friend had a fallout, and she was like, don't ever talk to me, don't text me, unfollow me because I will block you, like don't even think about me, and you saw her at the mall with a group of friends or with her partner, and you saw her, you was like, maybe she will forgive me of the shit that I put her through, and you ask her to be her friend again, but she says no. So you say, well, I'll do anything to be your friend. I feel like that word, I would do anything to be your girlfriend again, to be your friend again. It will put yourself in a lot of mental health like things. It will put you in the depression, which I am going to talk after this key point. But it will put you in depression. It will drive you crazy. You're going to get stressed out. Why should you do anything to be back in someone's life? If they cut you out, it's because they had a reason to cut you out of their life. It's like if you cut her or him out your life, it's because you had a reason. So we will say that phrase, I will do anything, and I mean anything, to be back in your life. And to be honest, please don't say that anymore. If you do say that, people come and go in your life. We have different stages in our life, and you have to realize, do you see this type of person in the stage that you get married, or in the stage when you start a family, or you finish college, or in your 50s? Like, there's so many stages in our life, and sometimes people will be in your life temporary until that stage ends for you, or forever. And you have to realize that. I saw that quote on Pinterest, and I thought that was the best quote ever. Like, Pinterest is very calming. I love, like, you know, looking at that and stuff. And I love, you know, I love it. You know, actually, now that I think about it, I think at the end of this episode, I'm gonna tell y'all how, and I just hit the mic, but I'm gonna tell y'all how I got my boyfriend and how I manifested that before I end this episode. Like, after I end this episode, I'm gonna like put it in and end the episode again. But it's just, I don't know, then just waiting for that episode to come, because I feel like with that episode it's going to be like, no, why I was ready and how I knew I was ready. But yeah, so bargaining, don't do it. It's gonna hurt you. And if someone else do that and bargains to be back in your life, say no and just walk away. Now, this is why I put a warning in this video, because of the 4th stage. So the 4th stage is depression. Now, for some people, they can go in a deep down depression to the point that you need to seek help. And then other people can go to a temporary depression, which, yes, you can seek help, but it's not really alarming to the point that you'll be like, oh, I'm gonna hurt myself. Now, we will all get depressed some point in our life. That can be losing a loved one, getting out of a relationship and the guy or the girl left you. That can be failing a class. That can be something's not working out in your favor. We all go through depression, but some people go in it deep to the point that they need to seek help. Now, the 4th stage, like I said, is depression. Now, this is before the last stage. We're going to go, I hope for some people, a temporary depression. And this is going to make us realize that it did happen, and to the point that we're going to cry, to the point that we're going to start hating ourselves, to the point that we're not going to take care of ourselves. And we have to realize that it is not our fault that we're going through this healing era, because we all need to go through this healing journey. We are humans. We go through emotions and emotions every single day, and we have to go through this sadness, grief, this sense of hopelessness. Like, that is the type of depression. There is depression, not type of depression, but that is depression, and we're gonna go through it. But like I said, some might go through a deep depression, and that's when you need to seek help. I feel like if you're going through a depression stage, please seek help. If you cannot talk to someone, like a family member, a close family member, because some people like myself don't trust some family, or a friend. I don't trust a lot of people. That's why I don't got a lot of friends. It's sad, but like, it's really hard to make friends in your 20s. But friends, you can always do therapy and do that. Or if you have a doctor, you can talk to them. But yes, remember that the last stage is not last stage, but the fourth stage is depression. And now, my guys, like I had a coffee like an hour ago. I had because I have a coffee like station in my room. So if you follow my YouTube, like if you subscribe to my main YouTube channel, there's a room tour, updated room tour that's like coming. But I have a coffee station in my room, and I made this coconut, I forgot what it was, but it's like a coconut Starbucks cake pod, because I have a Keurig machine, and it was limited edition, so toasted coconut, and it's so good. So yeah, that was the coffee I made. But let's just get into the last phase of the healing journey, which is acceptance. Now, after you went through your denial stage and be like, no, this ain't happening to me, and then be like, oh, it is happening to me, it is my fault, not just his or her fault, it's also my fault, then having all your anger out towards someone, so you throw something at the wall, or you just, you know, have silent anger, or you actually tell how you feel, then you're trying to bargain something to be part of someone's life again, or you going through that when someone's trying to come back in your life, and then you go through that depression stage where you are sad and stuff. You go through the acceptance stage, which is the last stage. Now, the acceptance stage is when you finally come to realize that, wow, this happened. I went through everything. I went through the trauma. I went through the depression. I know this person shouldn't be in my life, so I don't know why I want them back in my life. Like, what? Why did I? You come to realize that they shouldn't be in your life no more. You come to also realize that you should now put yourself first. You also come to realize that it's you at the end of the day. You can't let them control your mind. You can't let them control you. It's just you at the end of the day. So you're going to accept that, and you're going to move forward in your life, but in your life, you're going to start working on something that you always wanted to work on. So that can be a book, that can be writing a book, that can be a business, a YouTube channel, a podcast, but you're moving forward with your life. You're forgetting who the fuck they were in your life, and you just be like, psh, posh. Like, when you see them at the store, they be like, oh, hi. And you know, you move on. Like, you know, to be honest, now that I think about it, like what I just said, if y'all know, I have probably told this story like multiple times on this podcast episode. I lost a bunch of friends in high school my senior year. If y'all don't know, I'm class of COVID-19, so class of 2020, when basically we didn't have a prom, I didn't have a graduation. We had to drive up to the high school and get our diplomas. But I had a group of friends, good group of friends, and one girl, to be honest, I will say this, she is a follower than a leader. And we did this event together back in 2020, February 1st, so a month before COVID-19 broke out. And everyone stopped talking to me. So everyone stopped talking to me because one girl lied about me, saying that I was using her, saying that I told her that she didn't have to pay when I told her she did, because I did something. I ain't gonna do nothing for free. Plus, you would talk about me in front of me. You thought I was gonna do something for you for free? Hell no. But everyone stopped talking to me because all of these rumors, when she know exactly it was the opposite. So this one girl, I'm going to call her Kayla, even though that's not her name, but her name started with a K, so we can call her Kayla. And she was a good person. She was actually a good friend. But like I said, she was a follower than a leader. Like, you can tell. So when everyone stopped talking to me, she stopped talking to me. So probably when COVID restrictions was lifted up here in Tennessee, even though, yes, masks were still mandated, but it wasn't to the point that we were in lockdown. My mom, because if y'all don't know, I don't got my license. I'm working on that. I'm trying to get my license before the end of the year, or at least my permit. I take my permit next year. But my mom, she drove to Dollar General that Kayla worked at, and she told me, she sent me to get some things. I was like 18. No, probably 18, turning 19 that year. Yeah, 2021. I don't know when. That's what I say. Probably 18, turning 19. I'm 21 now. I turned 21 back in July, on July 6th. But she told me to go in Dollar General to go get some things for her. And I went to get some things for myself. So there was one register open, and Kayla was working that register. When I went, she rang my stuff, and I was like, oh, hi. And she was like, oh, hi. It was like awkward, but I pretended that I didn't like know her. I also pretended like I didn't recognize her face. But it was to the point that it was just a hey, and I left. She gave me my receipt, she gave me my stuff, and I left. Then, oh, let me start a conversation. That's it. Another instance was I was in Walmart with my brother, and so my brother got his license. I'm the oldest out of 5 kids, and he's the second oldest, so he got my license before me. And we went to Walmart. We went to the gym. No, we came from school because we're both in university, and we went to Walmart. We always go to Walmart because there's a neighborhood Walmart close to our neighborhood, like 5 to 6 minutes away without traffic. And we went to Walmart. I got some things, he got some things, you know. Even though we both live with our mom, we can still buy ourselves groceries just in case, you know, things happen. And I am hungry. I think I'm gonna make some tilapia for lunch. But we both went to Walmart, and I saw the dude that was in that friend group who also tripped me as well for like no reason, and he wants to blame his disability for that. But and that's a whole long story, but I would know he would blame his disability. While my brother has the same disability, my youngest brother, which is autism, and he's like to the point like he knows right from wrong. But my brother knows that he knows that it's right from wrong, but it's severe to the point like, you know, he's on the spectrum. With this dude, you would never know he was on the spectrum. So I knew, like, I hope he, you know, I wanted to trip him so bad, but I just pretended that I didn't know him. So you're going to accept that things happen. You're going to accept that people left your life. But remember, if you remove people out your life, it's for a good reason. And if people start showing their true colors and remove you from their life, it's because of a good reason. And I'm gonna say this, people will always envy you. I knew people was jealous of me. I knew the girl who started the rumor in the friend group was jealous of me because I had big goals for myself after high school. I knew that I wanted to start a YouTube channel. I kid you not. I couldn't like really start a YouTube channel in high school, but I knew after high school I could, because my mom just didn't want my face on the internet. Like, I didn't get Instagram until I was 18. So, but I knew I wanted to do social media, actually get out of my comfort zone, do YouTube, this and that. And look at me. I am doing that. I knew I wanted to work in the health field. I'm actually changed my major to healthcare management. Then my master's would be in medical research. I knew that I know a lot of things that I wanted, and I manifested that. And that's going to be after I close on this episode. But you have to realize that people come and go out your life, and that's for a good thing, and you have to accept that. Now, for those people who how can I put this in words? Okay, for those people who's in a toxic relationship, just know it's, yes, it is also your fault that the relationship was toxic, but it's a good thing that they showed their true colors to the point that you knew what you do want and what you don't want in a relationship, and they showed you what they don't do in a relationship. So yeah. Okay, so besties, like I said before I close down today's episode, I was going to like tell y'all how like some things can happen and like why I'm so happy. So let's just say I used to talk to someone last year around this time, so it's August 10th today. This episode is going to be posted tomorrow, but I used to talk to someone and we will talk for like 2 months after. So we talked from mid-August to mid-October. Then we stopped talking because things happened. That person was busy and all that. Well, I was on a trip with my family and I get a DM on Instagram from this same person asking me how I've been, and you know, he thought I was single. I was like, nah. But long story short, I'm happy, and to be honest, I got what I asked for in a good way, and that if you can visualize yourself with someone, you should ask yourself who you want to be with. And what I would like do and use is like I will use Pinterest. I have like so many boards of like what type of relationships I want, and then like I will write down in my notebook like, okay, I want a guy who's this and a guy who's this and that and that and this and that, you know. So you're writing it down and getting pictures, especially like if they look like you, then it's going to happen. So like, so glad that Pinterest actually have pictures of the type of relationship I want, because I usually do interracial type relationships. So that's what I found on Pinterest, and yeah. But like, I just wanted to say that and to know that, again, this whole episode is about your healing journey, and it's going to take a while than other people, and you're going to probably be in each stage longer or shorter. It's just how you want to heal from it, and you're going to go through each stage multiple times. You're going to go through this journey multiple times in your life, not just once or twice, but multiple times, and you just have to remember that. Now, I really do hope that you like this episode. I actually had to stop because my head was hurting, and actually after this I gotta cook me some lunch and then edit a YouTube video for today, and I don't know if I'm going to record my nighttime routine until tomorrow because I have to post that video on Saturday. So I don't know if I want to post that, not post it, but record it today or tomorrow. I want to do it tonight, tonight at least. So I'm going to try to finish editing this video. It's not a long video, within the next 2 hours, so around 5 or 6, so 6 or 7 at least, I can finish like I can do my night routine. But I really do hope that you like this episode. Remember to share this episode on your Instagrams, all your social medias actually. So if you're listening to this, screenshot it, tag you against you pod dot Deja by Deja. If you want me to share them, share it to your friends. If you're watching this on YouTube, take a picture, tag again you against you pod dot by Deja on Instagram. Follow the Instagram, the TikTok, my personal Instagram. And if you have like any topic ideas, please DM me. You can DM me on my personal Instagram, you can DM me on the podcast Instagram, and go add yourself to the Geneva group chat. Remember, it's you against you, and I'll see you in the next episodes, besties. Bye.